Hi everyone, this is Graham Allen, and I'm going to be talking to you today about a trip to Prague in the Czech Republic that I made a couple of weeks ago now. Picked up some great vinyl, not a lot, but just 3 albums that I kind of was hoping to find, been looking for a long time, and found them at good prices. 2 of them represses because the originals are just so hard to find. But I'll go through. So first of all, I'm just going to kick off with a couple of CDs. First of all, this is the Emily Francis Trio, and this is a band that I've seen play at Ronnie Scott's, and also where I picked this up at a very small playback for this particular EP. So this is called Atomic. Emily Francis is on keyboards, predominantly sort of electric piano, synthesizer. How to describe it? A kind of very modern, slightly prog, slightly psych, slightly kind of acid jazz at times, modern jazz feel to it. Really recommend them. Great bass player as well and fantastic drummer. They've been going for about 10 years now, and they're touring on and off, but a really good sort of modern outfit and highly recommended. So that's the Emily Francis Trio, if you like sort of jazzy, keyboard dominated music. Really recommended. I picked this up in Prague. You just never see their material, really. This is Elephant 9, the Norwegian avant-garde prog jazz Hammond outfit, with just Hammond organ and some electronic synths, bass and drums. So it's a trio. This is their album called The Greatest Show on Earth, which is 2018. This is really fantastic stuff, pretty out there. The main keyboard player and writer is Stale Stolican. He's on Hammond organ, Rhodes, grand piano, and synthesizers, Mellotron, Mini Moog. Really recommend it. Just so unusual to see this in a second-hand store in Prague. Absolutely delighted to get it. So that's The Greatest Show on Earth, Elephant 9. I have shown some of their stuff before. If you like things like The Nice, maybe Atomic Rooster, but kind of jazzier rock in opposition stuff as well, you'd really like Elephant 9. Last up, better known in the UK, is Fields, and this is a double CD of the debut album from 1971, and then a unreleased album from 1972, and it's put together in a wonderful package here. Some great artwork, 2 CD sets with bonus tracks. Particularly the debut's got some great Hammond organ driven music, but it's also got some bonus tracks and some BBC recordings as well. And this is put out on the Esoteric Recordings label. So that's Fields. People might know Graham Fields, the keyboard player, who of course was in Rare Bird, and they had a big hit with Sympathy in, I think it was 1970. So Fields, not that well known, used to be quite an obscure kind of group. People know them a bit better now. Would like to get the vinyl of the original album, but it's not easy to find, and it's often very beat up, and around about sort of £50 in the UK, even for just a G copy, even VG. So that's Fields. Okay, so on to the vinyl. First of all, we have, this is from Prague. Got this quite cheap in a store. Obviously, you find quite a lot of their albums. It's Collegium Musicum, the keyboard-dominated outfit. So a little bit similar to The Nice in the UK. They were around in the early 70s. This guy, Marian Varga, is an absolute genius. He manages to wrestle such unusual sounds from the organ, which dominates their music, very kind of classically structured, but with a quirky sort of middle Eastern European feel to it. The structures of the songs, quite different to anything else I've heard. So that influence, that kind of Middle European influence comes through, particularly in the writing. So great to have this. This was their second album. And delighted to get this. It's on the Supraphon label. Just show you the inside a bit. As is often the case, really flimsy cardboard stock, particularly in sort of communist bloc countries. People will know you get these very, very flimsy jackets. So that's on the Stereo Supraphon label. There it is. Collegium Musicum, second album. And their first kind of venture into more proggy territory from the debut album. I've shown them before. Next up, online purchase. This is a great German organ-driven outfit called Tricklon. The album is called Cluster. Very, very hard to find originals of this. It was a limited run, and even this press, there's only a limited run of 1,000 copies. I got number 89 on the Garden of Delights label. This is terrific organ-driven, sort of heavy prog, typical German early 70s sound. And they went on and added a guitarist after this album, and released another album, which I'm after at the moment, actually. And they changed their name. But this is the sort of trio setup, and the organist is called Hendrik Schaper. And I managed to drop him a line, I managed to track him down, and it was great to swap some, just some narrative with him, really. Fantastic. There he is, the main organ guy. So this is on the Garden of Delights label, and comes with a terrific colour booklet with some absolutely fantastic shots of the group playing live. This is actually a live recording, this album. They did go into the studio, I think, but kind of the essence of the band is kind of a live sounding band, very, very quite jammy sounding. Lots of text here, lots of great sort of promo pictures of the band. Really terrific stuff. I think it's a Farfisa organ, not a Hammond. And just for reference, the band produced an album with a guitarist called Nature, but changed their name to Tetragon. So it's another keyboard-based band beginning with T, along with so many others. So Tricklon, Cluster, Germany, and that's from 1970. Back to the trip to Prague, and amazed to find this. This is a reissue of a solo album by Duncan Mackay called Chimera from 1974, recorded in South Africa, though Duncan Mackay is an English keyboard player who went on to play with people like Kate Bush. He played with Camel in the late 70s. I think it's on the album I Can See Your House From Here. This is a terrific symphonic prog release from 1974, as I mentioned. Very hard to get this. The originals you just never see. There he is. So lots of Hammond organ, lots of synthesizer, and this is on the Missing Vinyl label, which is Italian, I think. Great to get that. Got it at a really good price in a really fantastic record store in Prague. So that's Missing Vinyl, originally on Vertigo, I believe. Chimera by Duncan Mackay. Symphonic progressive rock, long tracks, lots of soloing. Okay, two amazing finds in Camden Market in North London. I found a guy I'd actually walked past a lot of times, very small store. How often does that happen? And this is a Belgian trio called Recreation. This is their second album, Music or Not Music. And there's the guys. This is a reissue from 2016 on a German label called Lucky Pigs Records. The original is from 1972. Side one, very, very quirky, kind of Zappa-esque. Side two is more traditional, sort of organ, kind of German, Belgium, Norway sounding album. That's Recreation, Music or Not Music. I love that cover. And that's on the Lucky Pig label. There it is. Now, this was the album I was really after by them, which is their other album, their debut album from 1970. So Recreation, just called Recreation. On Lucky Pig Records again, same seller in Camden. Side one has got original tracks, side two has cover versions, very, very organ dominated. Summer in the City, California Dreaming, and Reach Out, I'll Be There, so kind of standards they're playing there. But the dominant force here is Jacques Falaise on organ. Again, if you like things like The Nice, you'll love this. Recreation from 1970, their self-titled debut. And this is on Lucky Pigs Records. That's really, really good. Amazed to find this, and again, a very good price. There is the label. Okay, slightly similar vein, but from East Germany, as was on the Amiga label, the only label they had in the East German province, Republic. This is called Adaptionen by a band called Elektra, and this is really just classical adaptations on mainly organ with some flute, some guitar, but very influenced by things like The Nice. They do Bach, Grieg, Mozart, Rachmaninoff and Borodin. This is on, as I mentioned, the Amiga label. People will probably know it if they've got any East German pressings. It's the only label that was available during this time period. But this is, it's not the strongest. It's a little bit cheesy at times. There was a bit of a vogue with bands like Exception for rocking up the classics, but in not quite as a sort of ambitious way as Keith Emerson with The Nice and then ELP. So on Hammond organ and synth is Rainer Übel. The band is called Elektra and it's Adaptionen. Like that cover. Okay, some more modern releases. This is from 2000, I think it's 2016. Let me just check. Well, before I do that, it's about a wonderful cover. Italian band called Standard, who are a Hammond organ heavy prog outfit. This is their album Stimmung. Really wonderful on the Black Widow label. Great picture of the guys there. The guitarist switches between bass and guitar. I'll just show you the inserts. There it is. So we've got organ, piano, moog and mellotron. Really, really great album. Really enjoyed the tone on this. Great artwork there. Highly recommended if you like your heavy prog. And this is from 1998. They did a number of albums. It's Standard, and it links to the next album that I'm going to show. So picked this up very recently. This is a band called London Underground, who feature the drummer from the band I just showed, Standard. This is more sort of psych, acid jazz, really Hammond organ dominated. This is the album called Space Edition, which is an amalgamation of the 3 albums that they did before this. So I picked this up very recently. This is a 2018 release on the Musea Records label. People will know, often do sort of psych Italian stuff. So it's the drummer from Standard and Gianluca Giallini is the keyboard player, and it's absolutely fantastic. They're called London Underground because it represents the sort of vibe of the late 60s, early 70s with the Hammond organ dominant. People will know that sort of psych sound, the acid jazzy sound, and they kind of tip towards prog, which is what I really like about this. But if you're into your Hammond organ, this is absolutely brilliant. So that's London Underground, look them up. Fantastic outfit from Italy. Wonderful, wonderful. 3 albums consolidated in this double album. And this is on coloured vinyl. I've got the other one actually on the record deck at the moment, but it's on coloured vinyl. So delighted to get that and really recommend them. Okay, this was the find of the trip really to Prague. German band called Murphy Blend, First Loss, One and Done outfits, really heavy Hammond organ, some great sort of fuzzy guitar, bit psychedelic, just a great, great album. Written their own material. The organist on here is called Wolf Rodrigo Ulig, and he plays some clavinet as well. So that's Murphy Blend, First Loss. This album often makes these lists of heavy Hammond albums, along with people like 2066 and Then, Odin, Cannabis India, things like that. That sort of German sensibility towards heavy prog, as it's called. This is on the Missing Vinyl label, so it's the same label that I showed earlier. It's a label that obviously reissues some of these old, long lost albums. But really recommend this. Murphy Blend, First Loss, terrific heavy psych prog. And this is on the, well, originally was on the Kukuk label, people might know. So it's just showing that as a sort of facsimile of the original release, but of course it's on the Missing Vinyl label. So that's it. It was a really great trip, great weather, really enjoyed it. Great talking to record shop owners in Prague, and see you all soon. Bye-bye.